marching as to war, with the cross of Jesus going on before. Christ the royal master leads against the foe. Forward into battle, see his banners go. Onward, Christian soldiers, marching as to war, with the cross of Jesus going on before. Oh, for a faith that will not shrink, though pressed by every foe, that will not tremble on the brink of any earthly woe, that will not murmur or complain beneath a chastening rod, but in the hour of grief or pain will lean upon its God. A faith that shines more bright and clear when tempest rage without, that when in danger knows no fear, in darkness feels no doubt. Lord, give us such a faith as this, and then whate'er may come, we'll taste and hear the hallowed bliss of an eternal home. A charge to keep I have, a God to glorify, a never-dying soul to save, and fit it for the sky, to serve the present age, my calling to fulfill. Oh, may it all my powers engage to do my Master's will. Arm me with jealous care, as in thy sight to live, and O thy servant, Lord, prepare a strict account to give. Help me to watch and pray, and on thyself rely, assured if I my trust betray, I shall forever die. Rise up, O men of God, have done with lesser things, give heart and mind and soul and strength to serve the King of Kings. Rise up, O men of God, his kingdom tarries long. Bring in the day of brotherhood and end the night of wrong. Rise up, O men of God, the church for you doth wait, her strength unequal to her task. Rise up and make her great. Lift high the cross of Christ, tread where his feet have trod, as brothers of the Son of Man, rise up, O men of God.
Let's edify. Yeah, CJ, I found that out when I jumped into the pulpit times and I was supposed to be going into evening edification because somehow or other pulpit times ended at the top of the list instead of down below evening edification. So I jumped in there and I'm like, why are we not live, Alicia? And then I noticed it says scheduled.
Sorry.
You sound and look very sorry.
I was trying to get ahead of the game this week.
Don't you know there is no such thing? How can you get ahead of a game you haven't begun to play? That's called cheating.
It is. You already start out with a head start.
Hey, Kat, how are you doing? Sam, what's going? Sam, you're right. Putting your foot in your mouth does not taste very good. It kind of tastes rather footsy.
Hey, Sam, do you know what your foot tastes like?
Well, he should. He's been putting it in his.
So
Well, at least that's what he says. Under his wings I am safely abiding, through the night deepens. I don't know why I want to hold that one. Though the night deepens and tempests are wild, still I can trust him. I know he will keep me. He has redeemed me, and I am his child. Under his wings, under his wings, who from his love can sever? Under his wings, my soul shall abide, safely abide forever. I'll try to get that a little bit better. Heather, good to see you. We were wondering and worried about you when we heard when Mary said North Myrtle Beach had a tornado hit. Hello, there's Isabel as the girl, and Gabriel. I knew it was another Bible name, and I was wanting to, and I knew it wasn't Patience. But for some reason, because of my conversation with Sean earlier, Patience was what was sticking in my head. Hello, Gabriel. He is Mr. Rogers today. Mm-hmm. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Oh, won't you be mine? I loved watching Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. That was such a wonderful and unique program. Under his wings, I am safe. What a refuge in sorrow. How the heart yearningly turns to his rest. Often when earth has Often when nope, it is up. Often when earth has no balm for my healing, There I find comfort, and there I am blessed. Under his wings, under his wings, who from his love can sever? Under his wings, my soul shall abide, safely abide forever. Under his wings, what precious enjoyment! There I will hide. Oops. There I will hide till my life trials are o'er. Sheltered, so protected. I am ruining it. Sheltered, protected, no evil can harm me. Resting in Jesus, I'm safe evermore. Under his wings, under his wings, who from his love can sever? Under his wings my soul shall abide, safely abide forever. I can't remember who it was that was. I think it was Angie was wanting that one the other day. Hello, Sean. Good to see you. Hallelujah. The lights are finally back on, and it is about 9:30ish your time. We are so grateful for the AC and Wi-Fi and lights back on. Thank you, Jesus. Amen. Kat says that Mr. Rogers always tied his shoes, and he always had a cardigan. You want to know the interesting thing about his zippered cardigans? They were made by his mother. She sent him one every, I think, year. I think Mary Thompson was telling us about the tornado down that area. Heather. Sam wants to know any advice on the background of Psalms. He's doing a series of on a reflection that he calls "Develop a Heart Like David." Sure, most of the Psalms were written by David, some by Psalms, and some by Solomon rather, and some by others like the sons of Korah and of that other guy, Asaph. Not all were written at the same time. Not all were written. Obviously, not all were written by David, as I just said. And there are a variety of different different styles within the Psalms. You'll see some like Miktams and some other ones which we have very little idea, if any, as to what these styles are. These are, when it says a Miktam or a some of the other names in there describing the Psalms, we do not know what is that.
Anymore.
Whoops.
Tab. Love it. Snap. Snap that nut off. What that nut I do? Anyway.
So needless to say, we are totally down.
Well, that one did.
Oh, that one did?
This one snapped up and just put the nut right on it. Hold it.
Yes.
It's supposed to look later.
All right. Well, then, so now you can replace it.
Yes.
Cool. Yay! Go get her. Get Betty back up and going, would you? All right. So yes, true, Sean. We don't know, but as I was saying, when you look at those, let's see. Could I have my Bible, please, before we get into other things? There are a lot of instructions within the Psalms as to how to sing them, and we've lost that instruction. We don't know what those are. One other thing, when you look at these in the Psalms, David. CJ, I'm going to give you a psalm I would like you to put up on screen for me. My tech person is out of the office. So if you'll have your Bible ready. Let's see here. Let's start with looking at Psalm 60. I'm just going to give you some of these things in here. Whoa, that's really small. Yeah, that's better. Okay, what you see here in Psalm 60, we begin with instruction. This was written to the chief musician to set. Your 60 is a bit different. Can you take us to the KJV for me? Okay, here we go. To the chief musician upon Shushenaduth, Miktam of David, when he strove with Aram Naharaim and Aram Zophah, when Joab returned and smote of Edom in the valley of Salt 12,000. So we have who it's written to. This was for the chief musician, and they were to play it upon. Back up just a bit. The verse starts with "Oh God," so the rest of it's all the preceding that's all instruction. So what we see here is that it was written to the chief musician. Here in the KJV, it says it's supposed to be written upon Shushan, or it's supposed to be done played or Shushenaduth, Shushenaduth, which yes. The ESV or what you were in ESV or NKJV earlier. You can see as a trumpet, or what we today would describe as a trumpet. So it's supposed to be on a trumpet of testimony. Thank you.
The word says trumpet or lily, so that's why the NKJV says lily there.
Mm-hmm. The word, I believe, was Shushenaduth, right? And what does it say for Miktam? That's 4387. Miktam, or Miktam. Engraving, that is technically a poem. So we really don't know how this one was played, how this one was sung. But it was sung with the accompaniment of a trumpet. And so when you see a lot of these psalms, and they have these little informational blurbs at the top, these are instructions typically. or they will be notations. Psalm 40. Let's see here. Let's look at Psalm 48, or rather 46. I think CJ left me for a minute or two. Psalm 48. Or, I mean, 46. Excuse me. I did it again. Psalm 46.
Sorry, I was commenting. I should stop doing that.
Yes. Moses. What was the Moses comment about?
Did Moses write some?
There was, yes, you're right. There was at least one of them in there by Moses. You're right.
Oh yeah, I said that's another author.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
I think, if I'm right, I may be wrong. I think he wrote Psalm 90.
And if I the song by Deborah might be in there as well. All right, so okay. Heather points you as well, Sam, to GBN. We're looking for 46, not 48. Let's see here. CJ says Psalm 90 is the one that he's thinking. Thank you, Sean, for letting her know that we're live, and we thank you for the update. We're so glad that you're back. Hey, Susan. All right. To the chief musician for the sons of Korah, a song upon Alamoth. Okay, what's an Alamoth? Do we know? Alicia comes by and being a smart aleck and goes, I don't know. Girls, soprano, falsetto voice, the Alamoth. So we know that this is for the singers who are in the upper registers, or an instrument that would mimic or would sound in the uppers and the soprano. Psalms is not done chapters. Psalms are unique in and of themselves. If you are going to go to the Psalms, it's kind of like, for me, it's a quibble, very similar to the idea of Revelation. When you are talking about Revelation, you don't say revelations, because this is the revelation of Jesus Christ. It says it very plainly in the very beginning of the book. It's one revelation, not multiple. Well, Psalms is a book of Psalms. So every single one is an individual psalm. So if we're going to turn to Psalm 46, we say Psalm 46, not Psalms 46, because that would be incorrect. We're looking at the book of Psalms, yes, but we're looking at the psalm, the song 46. And so it's not a chapter thing. It is a song. It is it's by individual songs. What you're looking at is David and essentially the Israelites' version of this. This is a book of Psalms. It's our modern version, not inspired, by the way, for most of them. CJ, you have an advanced system care warning up on the screen. for some reason. Hello, Sister T. Now, in Psalm 56, if you look at verse 3, we have a new set of instructions. Verse 3 of Psalm 46. Did I say 56? I apologize. I meant 46. I have not changed chapters. There we go. The word Selah. Give me a definition on that one, CJ, would you? This is an instruction. This is not typically to be read when you're reading through Psalms. This is not a verbalized one. See, it is notation to the musician to pause. It would be like what you see. It would be like a rest in the world, in the musical world. Let's see here. I'm going to see if I can find one and a good example of it. Trying to think of a song that you have that we've sung, CJ, where we might have had the rest. How about When We All Get to Heaven? You got that one? Hosea says when you turn to Psalms, you turn to a psalm in Psalms, and you go to Psalm 46. Right. When we all get to heaven. Okay, so yes, CJ there is circling a rest. And what that is telling the bass right there is to shut their mouth. So in the chorus here, we're singing, when we all, well, the bass is silent. They've shut their mouth. And then they open their mouth once the soprano gets to all, then the bass comes in, when we all get to heaven. And then they shut their mouth again. What a day of rejoicing that will be. So Selah is just like that. Shut your mouth. Hold, just be quiet, be still. In the biblical sense of this particular instruction, it is to the reader, to the singer, you be quiet and you meditate. So when you are reading with me in Let's Read Y'all, you will notice that I will go silent while my scroller will scroll up slowly through there to give you time to pause and to think over what we have just read. Usually I let it last about 5 or 6 seconds while we scroll the next verse up to the top, to where I can begin reading again. But that word there is not meant to be voiced. It is specifically instructions to the reader to be quiet. You're going to have to update that one here soon.
Update me.
So, as you go through these Psalms, you're going to want to understand and recognize these principles. Like you said, there are songs of praise, there are songs of distress, there are songs of thanksgiving. there are songs of remembrance. There are songs of meditation. And as you scroll through there, there's elements of many of those within one particular psalm. And there are psalms of prayer. When I was going to preaching school, there were people who said that we couldn't sing prayers. And it really gave me pause, because what is a psalm? Many of the psalms are exactly that, are prayers unto God, are they not? And so if David, under inspiration, could offer up prayers in song to God, is it wrong for us to do that as well? The answer, of course, would be no. And so, there's nothing wrong then, because the Bible doesn't forbid us singing prayers. In fact, what we're supposed to do, singing to ourselves in psalms, hymns, and spiritual songs. Well, these are psalms. Psalms can contain any one of a variety of these. Psalms has so much of a wealth of material in there. Go ahead, CJ.
Am I correct in saying all of these were meant to be sung?
Well, we've just read how a miktam is a poem. They can either be read or they can be sung. They can also be chanted. So it does not, it lends itself. And remember, the instruction kind of tells a lot about how they were done. We saw, scroll back up to the very first of this verse, or first of this chapter. The very first verse here says, to the chief musician for the sons of Korah. What does that mean? What does that tell us? Well, it was to be played and sung, right? Because it's for the musician. The sons of Korah were part of the priesthood that was devoted to singing. They were singers that David, by command of God, had set for the purpose. There was Korah and Asaph, and the reason that they switched to this. Okay, let me back up. There were these two families that were primarily set for singing praises and performing religious songs to God and playing trumpets and stuff. Part of the reason that they did that is because when the tabernacle went from the tabernacle to the temple, you had many of the priests, the sons of Levi, who were suddenly without office. Because what were the other two sons of Levi to do? Moses and Aaron came from, was it Merari? Let me look. There was three sons of Levi. And it chases down where was it? You're right, Susan. Some are written like prayers, some are prayers, and then the music is added. Absolutely. CJ, give me the genealogy of Moses, would you please? Might not be till Numbers. Oh, wait. Is it Exodus? It's Exodus 6, isn't it? Yes, beginning 16. We had 3 sons of Levi. These are the 3 sons, according to the generations: Gershon, Kohath, and Merari. And the years of the life of Levi were 137 years. The sons of Gershon, or Gershon, I don't know, I don't remember how that one's pronounced. But anyway, Libni, Libni and Shimei, according to their families. The sons of Kohath, Amram and Itzhar and Hebron and Uzziel. And the years of life of Kohath were 133 years. The sons of Merari, Malai and Mushai. And these were the families of Levi according to their generations. So what we had was Amram, the son of Kohath, was the father of Moses and Aaron and Miriam. Amram married Jochebed and fathered those 3. But what you have then is you have Gershon and you have Merari. Those 2 families, one of them was to take down the tabernacle and to set it up. The other one was to carry the tabernacle and all of its fixings. And cuteness overload. Hang on. Come on. Ah. Night night. Sleep tight. Sweet dreams.
What does that mean?
Come on. Right there. All the way down. There you go. Love you. Love. Love you. Peaceful rest. Mm-hmm. Help! 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 God bless. God bless, sweetie. I love you too. Ouch, it's my ear.
Good night, Sarah.
Night.
Sam says good night. Teresa says, hey, pretty girls, good night. Love you both.
Good night, y'all.
Good night, Alicia.
Good night, TJ. Good night.
And Teresa says she loves the shirt, Alicia. Okay. So the reason that we have the sons of Korah and the sons of Asaph coming into play as musicians is because of the loss of these positions but primarily because God said this is the way it's supposed to be, and we found that in Second Chronicles. Was it 29? Um, um, we find a lot. Yeah, it's in 29. We find a lot of that because when Hezekiah ordained, or Hezekiah renewed the worship of the Israelites, worship of God by the Israelites in the temple, and there was an entire chapter devoted to that. We find him setting things back in order the way that David had had set up or ordained by the mouth of, or that God had ordained by David and the prophet Gad. So we see these instructions to these people. That's why you see for the sons of Korah or for the sons of Asaph. David's psalms are typically made mention of or known. Now, Psalm 50 is one of those that is not made known as to who's is shown that it is not a Psalm of David. Psalm 50, it is a Psalm of Asaph. CJ said, didn't the descendants of Merari help rebuild a portion of the wall? Yes, he did. Yes, they did. Matter of fact, most of the priests did their fair share of rebuilding the wall as well as rebuilding the temple. The priests were some of the first that was sent, or that was returned to the land in the return under Cyrus, as we find in Daniel and Ezra. Psalm 72 is a psalm of Solomon, just for reference. 74 is a let you hit 72 so you can show them. See, it's a Psalm of Solomon. 74 is another type of psalm that we, again, it's called a maskil. And let's see what the definition is so we can see if we get an idea of what this means. A maskil is a didactic poem. Oh boy. Go ahead, CJ.
Is that one? Is it similar where the beginning mirrors the end, or is that a chiastic structure?
Unfortunately, my brain is seeing didactic as didache. And I don't know if they're the same, and I don't know. Yeah, you're gonna have to look that one up for us real quick. Didache is a Greek word, I believe, but
should I look up the English word didactic?
Yes, please.
It says intended to teach something, particularly in having moral instruction as a motive.
So this is an instruction. As you read through this, so I mean, this is a teaching psalm. which goes back to what are we supposed to do as Christians? Teach one another, right? In psalms, hymns, and spiritual psalms. O God, why hast thou cast us off forever? Why doth thine anger smoke against the sheep of thy pasture? What we see is, as you read through this, Asaph is asking questions of God. He's questioning God, but he's doing it in order to teach the congregation, to get them to think about what the answers might be. Why would God cast the congregation off forever? Why would God's anger smoke against the sheep of his pasture? You see, each one, as you consider these lessons or these questions, they have logical answers, and answers that would come from the law, because God had promises and he had blessings and curses, if you remember. And he spelled it out as to why he would do certain things, why he would bless them, and why he would take his blessing from them. And so you can really look at 74 and 78, by the way, and see a lot of the ways that that these are actual teaching. And how they teach the listener, the singer, and present lessons to them. So psalms can be, are varied. Another instrument would be the Gittith, 84, for the sons of Korah. What do we have there? It's a harp. So this was one performed on the harp. Go ahead.
Cyrus has no thoughts on the matter.
Well, of course he wouldn't. Try the KJC.
Huh?
Try the KJC.
I don't think I have that.
It's a free one.
Do I need to download that?
It is to the Hebrew what theirs is to the Greek. Let's see.
Yep.
I can't read that.
But you're gonna find it in the third one over, not the Bibles, not the commentaries, but yeah, the dictionaries. KJC, King James Concordance, I believe it is. Something like that. Now you have to restart. Ooh, pretty. We've got a couple more to show you before we conclude this one, but I think you're going to have to go look at the Gittith. No. Ezra? What is that one over there by the KJ? Is it KJC? No. No, it's Brown Driver Briggs. I'm sorry, I told you the wrong one. KJC gives you all the occurrences. It's BDB. Don't you just love how easy it is to grab a new source or a new tool in eSword? He's being awful silent over there.
It's great, Levi. Oh.
Gittith is a wine press, a musical instrument from Gath, and used in 3 psalm titles: Psalm 81 or Psalm 8, 81, and 84. And it's used for the Feast of Booths. Interesting. But it really doesn't tell you any more than it is that it comes from a wine press. Ah, that's hilarious. Okay, so look at 86. I thought you were over here.
No, do this one.
So what we see is 86 is a prayer. It just doesn't want to. I don't think that pushes it out. Just have to go for it for now. Okay, so 88. A song or psalm for the sons of Korah to the chief musician upon Mahalath Leannoth. There you go. This was from He-Man. Mahalath. Okay, that one doesn't tell us meaning. Dubious, probably a catchword in a song giving name to a tune. That'd be kind of like us saying, old 100s or something. Sickness. Mahalath. Okay, now what's Leannoth? You see, it's really in a lot of times, while it doesn't have a whole ton of bearing on what we do, it's really interesting to go into some of these names and discover what they actually mean. Primitive root, possibly rather identical with H6030 through the idea of looking down or browbeating, to depress, literally or figuratively. Oh, you know what that means? When you put the two together, CJ, Mahalath Leannoth, it would be like when you are mentally sick.
That is interesting. How do you play a mental illness? Maybe play with mental.
I think it is like it's, for example, upon diagnosis or upon when you figure out you're mentally sick, depressed, rather than upon it's not like an instrument.
Right.
Or maybe it's like upon the bagpipes, which is mentally depressing.
You know, my cousin plays the bagpipes.
My brother does too. My brother does too.
He's really good at it. Whenever he does his camp, he on the last day of camp will play his bagpipes for us.
And I actually happen to enjoy the bagpipes. But anyway.
Me too.
But anyway, this was a mass kill. Remember what we say that was? On the wine fat. Yeah, instruction. Susan found this one regarding the what was that one? That was the Gittith. On the wine fats, the Targum explains by on the harp which David brought from Gath. It is the only stringed instrument named in the titles of the Psalms. And if it was said on the wine fats, that would correlate with the Feast of Booths or Tents, possibly, because that was right around the time of the harvest, wasn't it? No, I'm confusing two of them. So Heman the Ezrahite from the town of Ezra, I think. Anyway, he wrote this teaching psalm, Psalm 88. And then someone else very close to him, from the same town or etc., Ethan wrote the very next one, number 89. You're right, Psalm 90 was from Moses. Psalm 91, we're not told whose that one is. Psalm 92, look at Psalm 92 real quick. So you see, the Psalms served a variety of purposes. Song for the Sabbath day. As you read Psalm 92, can you picture them singing this upon Sabbath? And let's go ahead and read that, and then I'm going to sing another song, and we'll be done. But all right. A psalm or song for the Sabbath day. It is a good thing to give thanks unto the Lord and to sing praises unto thy name, O Most High. To show forth thy loving kindness in the morning and thy faithfulness every night. Upon an instrument of 10 strings and upon the psaltery, upon the harp with a solemn sound. For thou, Lord, hast made me glad through thy work. I will triumph in the works of thy hands. O Lord, how great are thy works, and thy thoughts are very deep. A brutish man knoweth not, neither doth a fool understand this. When the wicked spring as the grass, and when all the workers of iniquity do flourish, it is that they shall be destroyed forever. But thou, Lord, art most high forevermore. For lo, thine enemies, O Lord, for lo, thine enemies shall perish. All the workers of iniquity shall be scattered. But my horn shalt thou exalt, like the horn of a unicorn. I shall be anointed with fresh oil. Mine eyes also shall see my desire on mine enemies, and mine ears shall hear my desire of the wicked that rise up against me. The righteous shall flourish like the palm tree. He shall grow like a cedar in Lebanon. Those that be planted in the house of the Lord shall flourish in the courts of our God. They shall still bring forth fruit in an old age. They shall be fat and flourishing. to show that the Lord is upright. He is my rock, and there is no unrighteousness in him. So you can see as you read through this, the person singing this, the family hearing this on Sabbath, is contemplating the very nature of God in their life, in their past, in their future. Oh, isn't that a wonderful thing to contemplate? Isn't that something we should maybe think about doing, CJ, in our next song together? Sister T, I leave it to you to pick our closing song because you weren't able to make it to our reading tonight. Which one would you like? I heard tell you were singing a bunch of songs in there throughout the storm.
Under his wings, under
I already
his...
did that. I butchered that one enough for now.
Yeah, I love that song.
You didn't have to agree that I butchered it. You could have been nice and
Nah.
no, you got to go and slap me upside the head. Faith is the victory.
So sometimes you need a good 2x4.
I've already got a headache. That is threatening to descend into the migraine. 134. 134, Sister T. Faith is the victory. CJ might even have this one in his extensive library there, but he might not. I thought she was headed to bed. CJ's looking for that one. Did you all see how we came out on the pine cone? Some of you did. Doesn't that look really neat? We're not done, but that's just the start. How about that? And he goes and makes it really, really small. Come on. There we go. I'm going to have my uncle send me a bunch more. I'm going to do a lot more of those. I think it would make a good seller. I'm going to try to set up an Etsy shop, I think, one of these days. Get some of these together. Okay. Sam says, thank you for that. I got to find the order of Psalms, a list that shows which is which. Well, there's one in the Bible. It says Psalm 1, Psalm 2, Psalm 3. Faith is the victory. O'Shea just about choked because it just came across us. Yes, CJ.
I'm ready to sing with you. Oh, I guess I should do this. What am I doing?
Thank you. Sounds like you know what I'm saying. Well, I figured the good Lord put it in the order that he wanted it in, Sam. Encamped along the hills of light, ye Christian soldiers rise, and press the battle ere the night shall veil the glowing skies. Against the foe in veils below, let all our faith be held. Faith is the victory we know.
Oh,
Let all the gods the world. Faith is the victory. Faith is the victory. Oh, glorious victory that overcomes the world. His banner over us is love, our sword, the word of God. We tread the road the saints above with shouts of triumph trod. By faith they like a whirlwind's breath swept on o'er every field. The faith by which they conquer death is still our guiding shield. Faith is the victory. Faith is the victory. Oh, glorious victory that overcomes the world. On every hand the foe we find drawn up in dread. Let ends of ease be left behind, and on to the fray. Salvation's helmet on each head with good fortunes about. We shall tremble, we attend, and echo with their shout. Faith is the victory. Faith is the victory. The world. To him comes the foe. White raiment shall begin. Before he shall know his name confessed in heaven. Then onward from the hills of light, our hearts with love aflame will vanquish all the foes of night. In Jesus' great name, faith is the victory. Faith is the victory. Oh, victory that overcomes the world. And with that, we hope and pray that through our quick glimpse into Psalms, that you have been edified, strengthened for the night or day ahead, to meditate upon God's word. For oh, how I love thy law. It is my meditation all the day. In fact, CJ uses that just as his theme song in the mornings on his morning meditations. As you go forth this evening, please walk with the King, meditating in his law. For it is only by his law that we can say with all confidence that whether we wake tomorrow here on this earth to serve him here, or whether we wake to serve him up there tomorrow, you know where we'll be, for we'll see you then.